Today is something so essential to your overall being. I mean, think about it. If you were able to get on the road to where you want to go and picture the star as anything that you want, it could be a certain amount of money, a certain amount of income, a business, relationship, whatever. Okay, so you want to go here, right? And you have this road that you're trying to go down, but it seems like you run into the roadblock of procrastinating on all the things like you really should be doing. And it really frustrates you and irritates you that like you're not getting the progress that you want. And it allows you to be roadblocked by this thing internally inside of you. It's like some sort of sabotage thing that feels like it happens. You try and sit down, you try and do something you need to do. You try and set a meeting for yourself to go and do something. And it's like it just doesn't happen. And then what happens is your momentum, 1 month, 6 months, 12 months later, you know, you're trying to go down this road and you don't even feel like going down the road anymore because you're tired of it. You're tired of procrastinating and not being consistent and not being constantly moving towards where you want to go. So today we're going to be covering this. I'm going to cover it a little slower than my normal videos because I think this is so important. I mean, just imagine if you stop procrastinating just a little bit, how much more of an impact would that have on your life? How much more income might you have? How much more, if you have a business, how much more would it grow? If you have anything in your life that you're trying to change health-wise, how much healthier would you be? If you just had 1 or 2 things you didn't procrastinate anymore, it could monetize your year. You could multiply your income by 5. You could multiply your happiness by 5. I mean, this is really important. Before we go into this, I'm going to show you a funnel. And what I mean by funnel is often we're over here, and I guess I'll get started with it right away, and then we'll kind of gear it into some action items, okay? But I want to kind of give you some backstory as well where I was at. Most people are here, okay? They're in this overwhelming stage. And this is where I was. I remember that I felt like I would try and do so many different things all at one time. And I felt like I wanted to write a book. I wanted to speak. I wanted to coach. I wanted to have rental properties. I wanted to invest. I had like a million ambitions. And I had a huge list of to-do items, including like building a website, getting some great business cards, whatever. And it would be like my entire list of what I wanted to accomplish was overwhelmingly huge. And then when I tried to go after something, I wouldn't make any progress because I just wouldn't actually move forward. I would procrastinate on decisions. And one of the number one things I would try and do is I would sit down and try and write a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad for the first time many years ago. And I would get anxiety in my body. Like I almost couldn't humanly sit in the chair and thoughts would come into mind. I can't do this. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do this. And you kind of get that writer's block, which is the same as procrastination. And I would get so much anxiety that I would like type 2 words and I would get up and I would go and do laundry, or I would go cook, or I'd go have a snack or whatever. I would find other things that were easier for me. Anybody else been there? Throw in the comment box if you've been there before. Maybe just throw a yes. That you've been in that spot where it's like, I know I should be doing something, but as soon as I sit down and try and do something, as soon as I go out and try and do that thing, I do something completely different that doesn't actually, I don't need to do my laundry right now. I don't need shirts. I got plenty of shirts in the closet, but I feel like, oh my God, I got to go do that thing. Okay, so let me know in the chat box if yes. So this overwhelming stage is where we're at in procrastination. We need to attack this in a way that you probably have not thought of before. So this is overwhelm, and it's too much, okay? So I encourage you while you're watching this, really take some notes with me and draw this out. I like to use visuals, I like to use drawings, and that's what you probably see in a lot of my TikToks and YouTube videos are all these drawings all over the place. Well, keep these in a journal. You can always go back to this. It allows your mind to be take all these complex ideas and put them into a simple framework, okay? And I'm not gonna write sideways the whole time, so I know it's hard to read, but it's overwhelming and it's too much, okay? So essentially what happened to me to get to where I can sit down and I am laser sharp focused. I almost procrastinate on nothing. The only thing I still have a little tendency of procrastinating on things that don't matter at all, that still maybe need to get done. So for example, I needed to renew my passport, right? I have so many other things I'm engaged with, I'm focused in on. Zero procrastination, it's laser sharp in movement and where I want to go. But then it's like a mundane thing. Okay, I got to renew my passport because we're going to be going to another country soon, right? So I got to get that little thing done. So, but as you could tell, like that's more of a mundane thing that I can say, okay, well, I'm just going to put this for Sunday, get that done and move forward kind of idea, right? But the major part of life, there's no procrastination on. And I'm going to tell you how I did it and how that progress can happen for you as well. So what you want to do first is you want to understand this funnel. In order to get to your goals, it's going to take far less actions, far less habits, and far less things to get there. Way, way less than you think. And by already having that mental idea and strategy, you can start saying, okay, I can put some of this stuff to the side. So the very first thing to do is, and we're going to kind of go down the funnel here, bear with me in the back of my head while I write this, okay? But go ahead and number one, list everything. Everything going on in your life. You want to list it out. And a tip is by area of life. List everything. So I want you to list, like if you have grocery shopping to do, if you have kids and family, you need to take the kids somewhere, you need to go do this thing, whatever it is. You want to go ahead and write down every little thing, and then you want to write down all of your ambitions by area. So you split it up. You could do the 4 core areas of like wealth, money, business kind of thing, health, relationships, personal life. You know, you can kind of take the 4 or 5 core areas of life and write those down. And you want to go ahead and start listing everything, including your ambitions. So maybe one of your ambitions you've been procrastinating on is getting to the gym. Most people do it. Most people try and get to the gym and they procrastinate, okay? So first and foremost, you want to go ahead and write down all of the things you're doing currently, and then also all of your ambitious habits that you want to develop, okay? And you start writing that down, okay? Number 2 is you want to go ahead and circle top 3. Okay? What are your top 3 ambitions? What are your top 3 things you need to do that are most important and most priority? Is this making sense? Go ahead and let me know in the comment box if this is making sense. That's how I can kind of gear and understand. Is this moving for you? Do you get the idea of where we're taking this? Let me know. It's pretty simple so far, right? We're going to go through some emotional side and mental kind of manifestation side in a moment, but we need to do this first. Circle your top 3. The top 3 things that are most important to you. So for example, if my star here is earning $20,000 per month, my top 3 things would be absolutely number 1 is doing high producing revenue actions. So that could be going out there and contacting potential clients. That could be learning how to do Facebook and Instagram ads. That could be putting in your organic marketing strategy. That could be crafting your offer, whatever that is, right? But I'm trying to get to 20,000 a month. I know that I have 3 high impact actions I need to go forth. I need to do that I'm procrastinating on, okay? So that would be top 3, right? Forget about all the other stuff, just circle the top 3. If you want to release and lose 50 pounds, 20 pounds, right? Top 3 things would be learning nutrition and understanding it. Number 2, changing my self-image and being able to feel good about my body now and feeling good and doing my mental work to get to a really good spot internally. And then number 3 is starting to go to the gym twice a week, just twice a week, getting on the treadmill, weightlifting, whatever it is for you that you maybe get a trainer and they help you do it, or you have some sort of routine. Those would be my top 3 actions, okay? So I'm gonna circle those 3 and I'm gonna say I'm gonna focus in on those 3. Now, one more step in this, and we're gonna call these like categories here, okay, is number 1, this should be actually number 3. Number 3 is star number 1, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and put a big star on the number 1 most important one. Now, how do you know what's most important? You might not know. When you're trying to release 30 pounds, maybe you've never done it before, so you're like, how do I know which is number 1? You choose by intuition, and you also choose by any research you've done. So for example, in releasing 30 pounds, you might say, you know, what's most important for me right now probably is every single night I eat a slice of pie, or every single day I, after lunch, have a bag of chips or soft drinks, you know, whatever it is. And I go ahead and I'm going to say that's my number one habit. I'm going to replace that. Okay? That might be my number one thing. So you put a star next to your number one thing. If I'm trying to make the $20,000 per month, the number one thing is actually being in front of potential clients every single day. That's the number one thing you need to do. So for the star here, you want to put a star next to that. If you're trying to get a business started, what is that number one thing? Researching as many business opportunities as possible and saying, what am I passionate about? What do I love to do? If I was sitting at a campfire with friends and I could just talk all night about something, what would be that one topic I could be passionate and talk about all day? You research all your thoughts, research all your ideas, and you come up with the conclusion of, I want to go here by running a coaching business. So that's starting to boil down to, what do I really want to do, right? So that's your number one thing. Again, is this making sense? Maybe throw a like on the video if it's making sense. Those of you that know me, I always ask for engagement. The reason is it keeps your mind focused on where we're at, keeps your mind here, keeps your mind actually saying, how can I utilize this? Okay, so it's very useful. So this is our first section here, and this is logic. This is logical, okay? Really, really important. So we have listing everything by area, everything that you need to do listing by area, okay, and understanding all of this. I know, Sarah, you mentioned recap. Perfect. So this recap here is listing everything by area, all the things going on in your life and all the ambitions in your life by area. So you take maybe the 4 core areas of life. You can create these 4 core areas. You can have money as its own area. You could have your relationship as your own area. You could have your health as your own area. And you could also have friendships and family in one area. Or maybe you split that off in the business into a 5th area of friendship and family, right? You just want to go ahead and craft your own topics and areas, but you want to go ahead and put those together. You circle your top 3 actions in those areas by area. So for your health, you're going to circle 3. For your money, you're going to circle 3. For your business, you're going to circle 3. In each area, you're going to circle 3, and then you're going to put a star at the number 1 in each area. The reason why we do each area is so we kind of break it down, because it's not always like health is more important than money, or that relationship is more important than health, or like, no, they're all important. They're all priority. You just need to pick one right now, one action, put a star near it that's going to make the biggest difference if you could actually move forward on that. Does that make sense? Okay. Now this is logic. Okay, so this is our mental side. Okay. That's the logical side that we need to start working on in this funnel. Okay. The second part here that we're going to be going towards is understanding that we have a pain-pleasure principle with this stuff, and that's really important. So it's more of our emotional side, okay? And this emotional side is we often link way too much pain with the thing that we're trying to do because there's fear, there's scariness. So for example, if I'm procrastinating on going to the gym, okay, it may be not fun for me at all. So there's no pleasure, it's all pain. I may not like what I look like in the gym when I look in the mirror. I may think, what are all these other people thinking about me as I go into the gym? I may say, I don't even have the right shoes for it, the right clothes and everything, so I'm not prepared, right? And you know what I'd rather be doing is actually sitting down and watching my favorite show, or sitting down and playing a video game, or saying, you know what, I would just like to sit outside. Right? So there's other things that are easier. So I'm linking a lot of pain to what I want and a lot of pleasure to things I don't really care to do. Okay? So you want to start looking at, we're going to put a number 1 here. What pain is there? And you want to go ahead and write that down. And you're going to do it just for one thing in one area. So, you know, we have all of our areas of life. Pick one area and your star. Just one. You can accomplish all of it, but again, you can't get into this overwhelm stage. For now, what's one area with one thing that's priority to you? Okay? And then you want to go down, what is the pain? Okay? What am I scared of? What are the fears? What are the doubts? What are the worries? What are the concerns? Okay, so pain is fears, doubts, concerns, right, etc. Okay? Because, again, we procrastinate on the things that we don't really care to do or we have some sort of fear around. Do you procrastinate if you're like, I really want an ice cream. I want an ice cream cone. Okay, I know we're talking about health and fitness and things, but okay, maybe it's like once a week you're like, I'm going to go out and get some ice cream with the family. Okay? Do you procrastinate on that? Probably not, right? And if you procrastinate, you're just probably like, I just didn't really feel like going anyways. I didn't really want it, right? So you're not really procrastinating. You just didn't even want it in the first place. But if you really wanted ice cream, do you procrastinate on going to get that? Most likely not, because there's not a lot of barrier or resistance. So you can think of this right here as your resistance. Okay? Let's think of another thing that might be easy. Maybe you do have a favorite TV show. Do you procrastinate on watching that TV show? Probably not, right? Because it's easy for you. It's relaxing. It's good kind of after a work day or whatever it is, you sit down and you go ahead and you just watch a show. Do you procrastinate on it? No, because you link dopamine pleasure to that thing. It feels good. It feels relaxing. It feels not so hard, right? So the resistance that comes up here is the thing that we're procrastinating on. So again, I may have fears of starting a business. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to start it. Or if I'm scaling business, I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know how to hire a team. I don't know how to, these ads aren't doing that well. I don't know what to do about it, right? So I have a lot of resistance. So I need to identify all of my resistances that are coming up, okay? And the second part here is, how do I link pleasure to the thing, okay? How do I link pleasure to it? Now, Tony Robbins goes into this very well. Those of you that are Tony Robbins fans, the pain-pleasure principle, right? It's really all brain chemistry, okay? But how do I start linking pleasure to the thing I want? How can I start enjoying it? What does that look like? Well, first you want to start with, why am I doing this? Why do I want to release the 20 pounds? Why do I want to start the business? Why do I want to get in front of prospects every day? Why do I want to do this thing? And you start with your why, okay? So you know why. So when I was procrastinating writing those ads and I felt anxiety in my body, I felt like I just had to get up and like do the laundry or cook a meal or whatever it was, right? It's because I had so much pain. I didn't know how to do it. I had a very unfocused mind. It felt very difficult to think. I just couldn't think clearly. I felt like my mind was in a cloud. I had fear of like spending $10,000 on Facebook ads and it not actually working out and I lose all the money. I felt lost. I felt alone of like, I don't even know what to do right now with these ads, right? So what I had to do was start linking pleasure. What was the why? I wanted to scale my business. I wanted to get in front of more people at one time without my presence. I wanted to create a bigger legacy. I wanted to become number one because at the time I was a Bob Proctor consultant. So I was a coach under Bob Proctor. I wanted to become his top 10 coaches. And I knew that by doing so, I eventually did. I got to my star, but I had to link the pleasure of actually getting in front of 10 prospects every day, no matter what, right? So I started to link, why did I want it? And I wrote down those reasons, okay? Very, very important. Now, once I started writing down those reasons, I also started writing down my beliefs that are empowering. What other times have I done something like this that's been hard? Well, I became a 4th degree black belt in karate. That was very difficult. That was very hard. So at that time, how did I win against that resistance? Well, I wrote down different things like, well, at that time, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I could follow my heart and guidance of my teachers, the karate senseis, right? I know this is going to be hard, but I know I have the physical strength to do so. I don't know how this is going to work out perfectly, but I know that I've had these opportunities where I've had a lot of uncertainty and I've made it through it, right? So I started to link some new beliefs with, it's possible for me. What if I could? What if I could write a great ad? What if I could do something great? What if I could blank? So you start playing a different game in your mind. You start getting out of this mental and more in your heart. You say, what if I could? And you start linking some pleasure to the actual thing. Okay? So that's really important. Now, again, in the comments section, throw maybe a number 1 if that makes sense up until this point. We're about 20 minutes in. So just to get an understanding, so I know if I'm going too fast, if you're making sense here, throw a number 1 into the comment box if so. And now I'm going to give you some actionable items to go through. Okay? So let's kind of hit upon the spiritual a little bit as well. Right? So it's emotional, but it's also spiritual. So we're hitting all the different planes of understanding. Okay? What we want to go through now, I don't know if my black marker is going to work here, but I'll try it out. It didn't work the other day. So these here, what we want to understand now is what do we do with this? So as you can tell, it's a lot of work, right? But it's not always going to be this way. That's important to know. I want you to write that down. It's not always going to be this way, okay? But I'm about to tell you the next 90 days are going to be difficult. I don't like to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to be blunt with you. I'm going to be honest. You know, I don't like when I'm watching other YouTube videos or other teachers and everything's so sugarcoated. It's like tomorrow you're going to end procrastination for good and you'll never have a problem with it again. Like that's just not going to happen. That's not okay. It's not even close to being realistic. You don't need to be realistic, but you need to have principles that are going to work, right? And I want to give you principles that work. From my experience and the thousands of people I've worked with, all the clients I've worked with, so many people by now, this same thing, every single time I give this to one of my clients, it works every single time, okay? So it's going to work for you as well, but you need to know it's going to take some time. So I said 90 days, but to trick your mind a little bit, call it 60 days. Okay, so this is your challenge for the next 60 days. And if your mind can't conceive that it's like way too much, say 30 to 60 days, okay? For the next 30 to 60 days, you're going to do these things, okay? Number 1, trigger and action and reward, okay? This is scientifically known that this changes brain chemistry. It's in a great book. It's all about habits. A lot of other teachers talk about this, but this helped me so well. I'm going to give you some things that I discovered myself that I didn't learn from anybody else. This one was something I learned from somebody else, though, in a great book around habits. Trigger, action, reward. You need to find that one thing. Remember, we talked about one area of life with the star. And you're going to form a trigger, a positive trigger, that is. Okay? What I like to do is an alarm clock, and I did this when I was first starting out. An alarm clock goes off at a certain time every day, not to wake up, but to do a specific action. So my alarm clock may go off at 10 a.m. every single morning. If I'm an entrepreneur, this will be an example of entrepreneurship. My alarm clock goes off at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's the trigger. The action is a thing you've been procrastinating on that you're linking your why to. The action will be, I'm going to contact 10 prospects, 10 potential clients that I could help. Okay? That's the action. That may take me 30 minutes. To contact 10 people, it may take me just 30 minutes, and after that 30 minutes, I'm good, I did it. Then I'm going to reward myself. The reward is anything that feels pleasurable. So that could be something like, go out and get a green juice. If you like green juices. I like green juices. You might say, if you still drink coffee of some sort, you may say, I'm going to go to my local coffee shop and grab a cup of coffee or an espresso or whatever. It could be, you know, I love being outside and it's coming to summertime here soon, so I'm going to go for a walk for 5 minutes outside and breathe the air and be in the sun or just be outside. Okay. Another thing may be, you know, for me, one of the things I love doing is I had an electric scooter, right? One of those little things, kind of like the Bird Lime scooters out there. But I had one that I have. And then I go down the sidewalk and throw on some headphones, listen to music, and cruise around a little bit, right? So it's that thrill. I like that. I enjoy it. So that's what I would do, right? Another one could be, if you're going to use anything with eating-wise, you do something very healthy so you don't make a bad habit. It could be having like the tiniest piece of dark chocolate, right? That's pretty healthy for you, not too sugary or anything like that. That could be something. So you do something that feels good for you, that says, Like, I enjoy this thing. It should be small, 5 to 10 minutes or less, okay? And you do this every single day, including weekends. I don't care if you have a lot going on. I don't care if you have a full-time job and you got family, you got all this other stuff. Pick a trigger, pick an action that's going to take you 30 minutes or less, that's going to move the needle forward, that's part of your starred actions here, and then reward yourself for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. This whole process might take you 35 minutes. You can do it every day. You can find the 35 minutes. If that's too much, find an action that takes you only 10 minutes and reward yourself for 2 minutes. 12 minutes a day. You can find 12 minutes a day. And you forget about everything else. Okay, you don't if you're trying to lose weight and trying to get to the gym and you're trying to build a business and you're procrastinating on just everything, your mind is so attached to accomplishment. And I had this. Like, remember this overwhelm? You need to get out of this. And the mind says, oh my God, what if I don't focus on it? Nothing's ever going to move forward. That's BS. It's not moving forward anyways, so this isn't working. Okay, so don't focus on oh my God, yeah, but I want to change me going to the gym, and I want to make sure I have $250,000 or $1 million come in this year, and I want to not procrastinate on this. And see, what happens is you're going to go back to stage one and none of this even mattered. Okay, tell your mind it's all going to work out, but for the next 30 days, I just need progress. So this stage right here is progress. Okay, that's what you want to know. Now, imagine if you start actually getting progress on the thing that you really, really are like, I know if I did this one thing, I'd gain so much progress. How are you going to feel every day? Amazing. How are you going to be in that area of life? Progressing. What do you think is going to happen the next time you want to procrastinate? Isn't it going to be easier for you to go through this quick process and say, you know what, I'm not going to procrastinate. I know what I need to do. I'm going to change my principles here, focus on that one thing instead of be overwhelmed. I'm going to get out of my pain. I'm going to enter my pleasure. I'm going to trick my mind and understand how to change the chemistry of it. And I'm eventually going to get progress. This is what happened to me. It's not overnight. I had to do this every single month. Seems daunting. So don't think about the whole year. Just think about the next 30 days. Or if you're starting in March here, or you're starting in April, or whatever it is, just say for this, the rest of this month, and don't trick your mind in saying, here's a big tip for you, is don't say I'm going to start April 1st. I'm going to start May 1st because it's the 1st, okay? Or somebody says, well, after Christmas, that's when I'm going to do it when January 1st comes around, right? We don't want to do that at all. We don't want to trick our mind saying, I'm going to wait until. You do it today. You start right now in this video. You pause it. You do all of this, okay? And then you start your trigger action reward sequence today, okay? It's not going to be easy. In fact, here's a little thing to know ahead of time. You're going to probably do this for about 3 days, and then it's going to get very hard. Because we're addicted to this. Anybody else tried to get off caffeine before? Do you know how hard it was for me to do that? It was so, so difficult. I'm sure if somebody would help me a different way, I'm sure it would have been, easier for me. But I was in overwhelm because I'd always try and just stop drinking coffee and caffeine. And then what would happen is I would just get totally in a downspin of like, I needed the thing, right? Because I was pretty much addicted to the caffeine. So you go through this process, it's the same way as like, the first 2-3 days are very difficult. Somebody's trying to stop smoking, somebody's trying to stop drinking, somebody's trying to stop something. The first days are hard. But once you get to about day 5, that's the critical threshold that you start feeling like, okay, this is doable and it feels good. So try to get to day 5, okay? Once you start entering day 5, then you're cruising. You're going to start really, really feeling good about yourself, and you're going to start really starting to rewire some things, okay? So your trigger, action, reward sequence, and you're focused on one thing in one area, okay? One thing in one area. As soon as your mind starts bugging out, oh my God, I'm procrastinating on all these other things. I want so many things in my life. I'm so ambitious. I have so many things. Okay, remember this diagram. Take a screenshot of this. What I would do, and this is what I did with a lot of the learnings I was learning and everything like that. You could probably see my cat actually in the background cleaning himself. Funny enough. you take this diagram here, you take a screenshot of this. Let me get out of the way for you. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this, okay, all of this here. And then you're going to actually print this out and hang it on your wall, or hang it on, you know, whatever you need to do in your office, so that you have this in front of you and you can remember, okay? So that's what I would do with all my teachings as well, as I get this as an actionable item that I can actually have, okay, and actually put up in front of me. That's it. That's all this is. You see what this funnel is? You take all this overwhelm and you boil it down to something that's manageable, something that's possible. So when we're overwhelmed, it's because we're focused on 10,000 things. We feel like it's all got to get done. I have so much to do. I have so much, right? And you have this huge to-do list. Find the one thing that's going to really move the needle. What's the one thing? And if your mind is going into a spot of like, I don't know, if you do know, you need to sit with that resistance, because your mind is in a habit of telling yourself, I don't know. It's not true that you don't know. Your mind is in a habit of telling you, I don't know what to do. So you want to go ahead and sit with that. And if you don't really know what to do, after you sit with everything, you say, let me do some research. Let me ask a friend. Ask somebody that's empowering, not a friend that's going to be disempowering to you. Or ask a guide of some sort or anything like that. Or ask us in our programs. This is what we do. We guide you on this stuff. This is what we do full time. I do it every single day. And I've been doing it for many, many years. Is we guide everybody on this live. We help and interact with you in this stuff. So take this process, run with it. Let me know, again, throw a like on the video if this is making sense up until this point, so I can get an idea of where we're at. It helps with understanding exactly where you're at with this. So long video here, but I hope this has been really, really valuable to you in getting to your goal. Whatever your star is, whatever your desires are, whatever it is that you want, okay? Get out of this overwhelmed stage and get into this stage. Find just one thing and move the needle forward, okay? After the 30 to 60 days, so you need to gauge your progress, and you need to see, like, am I gaining the progress in the area? Like, has it clicked? So is going to the gym now normal for me? Is getting in front of 10 prospects a day now normal for me? If it's normal and it feels good, move on to a next starred number. If you're not in this spot where it doesn't feel good yet, it feels like you're still forcing, you need to push yourself to get that alarm clock going, to get in front of 10 people a day. If you're still forcing yourself to get to the gym because you're like, I still hate this, I hate going to the gym, or whatever it is, okay, keep going until you hit the 60-day mark. That's how you know, okay? So for example, for me, I love going to the gym. I love it, but the benefit I had is I grew up in a fitness family. My family owns a gym. So I already had that built within me, but that's the same thing. That what happened, that the pleasure principle is already within me to go to the gym. It's not painful for me, it's pleasurable. So I had the blessing of having family that blessed me with that fitness habit already, right? But in other things, it wasn't. So for example, getting in front of 10 people a day was like the hardest, painfulest thing ever in business. Like, if you could see what happened to me in the background during the many years of business, you'd be like, okay, I resonate with Scott. I get it. Like, there's so many days he was down, so many days he just procrastinated, so many days he was overwhelmed, so many days blank, right? And I had to do this principle. So some of us are blessed with not having overwhelm in certain areas, like I was with fitness. You might be blessed in a certain area of relationship or friends or family or whatever it is. You might be really good in that area. Great. The other areas, don't get frustrated by it. Instead say, what do I need to do to transition over here? Make sure you read it. 30 days, you know that you set in and you're ready to go, or not after, that as well. What I'm going to recommend is right after this, you do two things, really, really important. Three things here. Number one, write down your trigger, action, reward before you jump off this video. Okay, you could do it. You could jump off the video. You could do it another day, but what are you doing again? You're procrastinating. So what I encourage you to do on this video is in the comments, tell me your trigger, action, reward, okay? And if you're watching this video and then you jump off the video and you don't do that because you don't feel like it, what are you doing again? You're procrastinating. You're never probably going to get to it. So I just really recommend you do it while you're here. Stay accountable to it and go ahead and do your trigger, action, reward in the comments below. Do it with accountability. Be with our be with our family here on our YouTube channel and say, I'm just going to go ahead and write this down. I'm going to stay accountable to everybody in Scott that I'm going to do this. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two is I'm going to recommend a playlist, and that playlist is going to be in the description below, and you'll see the link above here soon. But that playlist is going to be through our Next Level series. In the Next Level series, I want you to go through my number one manifestation technique, and I want you to blend all of this with my number one manifestation exercise, okay? Because that's going to help you make sure that you're maintaining and growing your consciousness and your results to that next level while you're shifting. Because we're talking about action here, but we need your energy, your frequency to catch up to the action. Does that make sense? So we need to have you change your action, plus you need to change your frequency. So what I'm going to recommend is that number one manifestation system video. You watch that right after this as well, so that you can actually get the action going, plus the energy. And then finally, if you want help with this, make sure you book your call. Okay, this is really important. I had help with this. I didn't do this alone. And it's really hard to do it alone when you're doing, like I did this alone sometimes, yeah. But I had a mentor and guide constantly in my corner, helping with accountability and procrastination. So if you want some live help with this, manifestwithscott.com/live, okay? And go ahead and book your call with us and be really serious about it. Make sure you show up. You know, the people that don't show, we have a couple of no-shows here and there, but we have most people showing up. You know, those people that are no-shows, what are you doing? You know, with your, you want to be in a spot, you say, I'm going to commit to actually booking a call to get help on this and show up. Be there, be serious. You know, we have 95% that are serious about this stuff and they win. Like, we've had clients become 7-figure entrepreneurs in very short amounts of time. We've had over $1 million in wins in just our little course. And it was within months of us actually launching that a couple of years ago in our Manifestation Accelerator, okay? So we've had clients like quantum leap their lives and you wouldn't even believe what happened to them. So you can go to our website there, scout.com/reviews. You're going to see over 300 reviews and really almost over 500 screenshots of wins and everything else in there, because we have that many wins, over 100 video testimonials just from what we do. So you want to know that, like, when you're working on this, you need to work on your energy, and that's what we master with you. We do this with you. So make sure you book a call with us, manifestwithscott.com/live, and that will be very helpful to get live guidance, okay? And the program we have is twofold. You can become a certified manifestation coach with us, where you can actually teach this material. Once you master it, we're going to help you master it, and then you can actually form a coaching business teaching it. So you become a certified law of attraction coach or certified manifestation coach. So don't worry if you haven't mastered results. I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to help you know how to form a business. We got business training, entrepreneur training. We got everything for you. And then also the second part of the program is energetics mentoring. So if you like my energy loop videos or you like any of the stuff that we're covering, we're going to help you. I'm going to be live with you every single week, helping you moment to moment with your awareness, with your growth, with your action taking, all of it, so that you can go from where you are here to that star. You can go here to here. And what I always say, you bring your life and business to the next level. So if you're looking to do that, again, book a call and I'll be actually helping you live on a weekly basis really go to the next level. If you're just beginning, we got a price point that will help you out. It's very, very doable. It's the price of a cell phone per month, basically. If you're listening to this video, you're already a 6-7-figure entrepreneur, you're ready to really expand, you're ready to really grow, we got the mentorship for that as well. That's going to really take you to a whole new level. All right. So make sure you book your call. And again, in the description, in the link, remember, watch that #1 manifestation exercise video so you can get the energetics. Okay. So 3 action items. Make sure you do your trigger action reward in the comment section. Keep accountable. Second is make sure that you watch the #1 manifestation exercise video. Okay. So that you get the energetic side with the action side. And then remember, number 3 is manifestwithscott.com/live to book your call. All right. Okay, Scott Haug signing off here. It's a pleasure being with you today. And I'll see you over in the next video next week. We do this every single week. So make sure you kind of dial in your schedule to be here with us and really be here and invest in yourself like you're doing. All right. So sending peace and blessings and prosperity to each and every one of you. Make sure you're here in the energetics. Make sure you're here in the Energy Loop series as well, so you can really expand your consciousness and elevate to a whole new level. All right. We'll see you real soon. Take care. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I do check those out. And I would certainly like to help you out and answer any questions you have. All right. We'll see you real soon. Take care.